What a barnstormer of a mountain stage summit finish we had up here at San Valentino above Brentonico, stage 16 of the 2025 Giro d'Italia. It did not disappoint. Before I get into the stage winner and what happened in the GC, I want to let you know this Giro d'Italia coverage is brought to you by Bicycle.com, your best place online to buy and sell pre-owned bikes. You have too many bikes in your garage or shed? No problem. Head on over to bicycle.com/FloBikes, list your bikes in minutes, and sell to cyclists worldwide. And while you're at it, get your 30% off seller discount code. We had a massive escape out there. When the race started 200 kilometers ago, it was rainy out there. It was nasty. All of us were getting soaked at the start. It did not look great. Primoz Roglic came into the mix zone, was explaining all the pain and suffering he had in the last couple of weeks. This is the day after the rest day as the race enters its third and final chapter. All the riders were huddled under umbrellas. As the race kicked off, we heard the whistle, we heard the gunshot. Riders went out to begin the day, 200 kilometers with the Cat 2, 3 Cat 1 climbs. It's a day of saints because we have Santa Barbara, the penultimate climb, and we had San Valentino, this climb up here. A few of the riders could have used some saints to look over to them today because it didn't go so well. Poor old Primoz Roglic can't get a break in this Giro d'Italia, can't get a break in his career. Well, he does sometimes. He's won quite many races, but here in the Giro d'Italia, I think today marked his 4th crash. He told us this morning he is out of the GC after everything that's happened, and today, well, he was firmly out of it because he abandoned the race. That's the big news for you, the 2023 Giro d'Italia victor, winner of every other stage race besides the Tour de France in cycling, gone. The top Slovenian rider, leader of Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, out of the race. Why? Well, he was already feeling pretty crap out there, and another crash along with Richard Carapaz. Well, that was the old nail in the coffin for Primoz Roglic. And Primoz, I'm sending you my best wishes, and I hope you get ready, get back for the Tour de France. I want to mention what else happened. Another crash, another abandoned by stage 2 winner. It was Josh Starling, I call him Starling, Josh Starling, who crashed, nasty curb, slid out, bam, right into a guardrail, sliding underneath it. I think he hit his head on the guardrail too. He's out. He had won the time trial, big time trial gun, crashed, he's gone. At least he came out of the race with the stage win, but I know Josh would have wanted to have been there to help Egan Bernal, especially in today when Egan, we saw him suffering. Now let's get into the action because there was an escape out there and they were fighting quite hard. It was whittled down to around 5 riders, and importantly there was Wout van Aert in there and also Astana. Before that 5, they had 3 riders up there with Scaroni, also Fortunato, leader in the mountains points competition, and Masnada. Well, they did well to set up their riders. Van Aert eventually dropped out, and we saw Scaroni and Fortunato fighting free in the day up the road. And key up there in the road, what EF Education had riders that they could send back with helping out Richard Carapaz, setting up his move, including Darren Rafferty, the Irish champion. Beautiful looking bike out there, and of course he was fighting stage wins there in the Tour de l'Avenir against none other than Ayuso, Toro, race leader in the pink jersey. And let's get down to the GC action. I'll leave it to the escape here in a minute. We'll get back to those guys and what happened with the Astana duo, Fortunato and Scaroni. But back in the GC group on that penultimate climb, the Santa Barbara, we already had gotten rid of Primoz Roglic due to a crash on that climb. We already saw cracks in Team UAE. Ayuso told us this morning, we knew it over the rest day, that he's not a co-leader with Ayuso Toro. Forget what you may have thought. He had been suffering, and this morning he thought maybe he could still be there with Ayuso Toro, but we saw he was dropped. He was losing time. It was not good for our Spanish friend. And then we saw Egan Bernal start to lose time. Egan Bernal looked like he had a mechanical, but in fact he had a crash as well. It didn't look that serious. And he'd been riding so strong, especially the day before the rest day, looking good. Ineos always looking good. Josh Charlie would have wanted to have been there. And the team with Arensman, all the guns helping him out today. Unfortunately, Egan Bernal in the Colombian jersey was starting to lose time on the Santa Barbara climb over the top up front, while Fortunato picking up more points in his blue leader's jersey. Scaroni as well picking up points. And back behind, what we saw was that it was whittled down, down the descent. to this final climb, San Valentino, what we noticed was that UAE was in firm control. At one point, we had these top leaders in the group, and only one team, only one rider had teammates. It was Isaac Del Toro. In fact, he had 2 teammates when all the other riders had 0 teammates. He had Rafael Maica, he had Adam Yates. Oh, Isaac Del Toro, you have a super group helping you out, the same sort of group that would be helping you out if your name was Tadej Pogacar. Isaac Del Toro was in great position, and then the turds started hitting the fan, because midway up the climb, past Brentanico, that's when Simon Yates went to work. Former Vuelta a España champion, leader of Team Visma Lisa Bike, had Wout van Aert up the road. Van Aert dropped back, started to help him, but Simon Yates was laying down the law, launches an attack, launches another attack. Del Toro goes with him, Carapaz follows, Derek G bridges up, just makes it, and we have this magical group of 4 that's riding, and then bam, the Ecuadorian hits hard. Former winner of the Giro d'Italia hits, and no one can respond. He's off, he's away. Stage winner already in this Giro d'Italia has a gap that no one else is going to see until the end of the stage, and they're not going to see Carapaz until we get up here to the top of 1,300 meters. Richard Carapaz the other day, his win was no fluke. Clearly he's got strength. Derek G, we were wondering, Derek, what are you doing? Derek's chasing after Richard Carapaz, and I didn't want him to blow his engine, our Canadian friend. I thought, well, why not force Del Toro, why not force Yates to do the chasing? They're higher placed up in the GC. Carapaz is an immediate threat for those guys, but Derek G must have seen something in Del Toro's eyes, must have seen something in Simon Yates' eyes. We'll never know, because at the finish, when Derek G was up here, he stopped before the security, and the security would not let me down there, and the team was down there, and all the riders were doing U-turns to go down the buses. But Derek G had some smarts, understood the situation. Eventually, Egan Bernal's coming back up, because what we saw was that Simon Yates started to crack Isaac Del Toro. Isaac Del Toro was starting to lose time. Egan Bernal joined up with Isaac Del Toro. Simon Yates was riding free. Derek G kept his gap over Simon Yates all the way to the finish line. Now up front, what was going on during all this action? Well, our Astana duo was cracking away to victory. We had Giulio Pellizzari up the road a little bit, because Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe wanted to make something out of their Giro d'Italia without their star, Primoz Roglic, out of the race. And who knows, maybe the team's going to pick up Juan Ayuso next year, because clearly at UAE Team Emirates, after last year with Pogacar at the Tour de France, and now what's going on with him and Del Toro, he's going to want another team. But let's focus back on the action, because up front, it was our duo of Astana, Scaroni, Fortunato, Scaroni. It started to make sense that Fortunato would give Scaroni the stage win, because Fortunato, even if the stronger rider, his team has been helping him try to get that blue points jersey. It means a lot for Team Astana. So, Scaroni, Fortunato, hand in hand over the line, and then Fortunato sends Scaroni free. I think it's his first ever victory from Brescia, the rider. You'll have to check me on that. A lot of action was going on today, and I couldn't refresh all the stats, Wikipedia, and I can only keep so much here in the noggin after all the runs on the rest day. Yes, I went out and logged it up on Strava, up above Bazzano del Grappa, up and down the hills. Beautiful run. Didn't have the rain that we had. Okay, let's get back to the race action, because Derek G, Carpaccio, Richard Carapaz up the road. Carapaz comes in, gets a great gap, not over Derek G, because Derek G's holding close to him, but back to Isaac Del Toro. I think at the end of the day, something like 1:36. Simon Yates is coming in after Derek G, and I'm listening into the FloBikes commentary of Ned Bolting and Jacopo Guarnieri, former sprinter, lead out man for Arnaud Damar, and they're coming in. I'm trying to figure out who's going to hold the pink jersey. Isaac Del Toro just keeps it by a half minute or so over Simon Yates, over Carapaz. Those guys are danger men. And then we look at Derek G. He gained significant time today. He's around about 1.5 minutes back from our race leader, Isaac Del Toro, who may be losing confidence out there on the road, but is gaining confidence in the mix zone, speaks better and better English every day. Isaac, I'd like you to win the race, but it's not looking good after what we've seen today with you losing Ayuso and also not having the strength on a key summit finish stage. And when we get closer to, I think it's stage 19, and then of course stage 20 with the Finestre stage, those are going to be key mountain stages, and those guys, including Carapaz, have smelled blood out there today, and they're going to go at Isaac Del Toro again. Isaac Del Toro, are you going to be able to hold on? Derek G, are you going to show some of that strength that you showed again today? And Richard Carapaz, can he do the double and win again? Simon Yates, after cracking a few years ago, after riding so well like Isaac Del Toro throughout the Giro, cracking on a stage. What stage was it? Well, it was the Finestre stage. Simon Yates, you could get sweet revenge this year at stage 20 of the Giro d'Italia. And come think of it, I wasn't even naming Isaac Del Toro as one of the favorites coming into this race. I was thinking about that today. And our favorites that we were talking about, Ayuso, Primož Roglic, they're now out of the race. Egan Bernal was having an off day. Derek G is riding great. But on top today, well, Astana's got a stage win. They won, and they got firmly in place with the blue jersey. Fortunato on top of that. Scaroni set second overall, and it's locked in, assuming they make it to Rome on Sunday. And Isaac Del Toro just holding on to some pink threads of that jersey. Holds on to the leaders, Maglia Rosa, this 2025 Giro d'Italia, stage 16. And what a barnstormer we had up here on San Valentino.